Hey, how we
I'm glad
doing?
everybody came. And, well, you guys know this guy. It's Rico. We've got no Lefty. We're doing the Lefty show today, but we got him way down there in spirit.
No,
for y'all.
There he is.
And we've got James. Here is our backstage producer who can join in as much as he wants. And this is a show, not necessarily about fish. I don't know if you guys have seen the Lefty show on his channel, but we kind of just talk about all sorts of different goofy things and just have a good time doing it. But I guess as long as we got James here, you guys can ask as many fish stuff too, because he's the brain. But
oh Lord.
And but nope. But we got Rico, and he knows a whole lot about a lot of stupid stuff, kind of like me. So we're going to talk about all sorts of goofy stuff today. First thing is, I'm going to ask James or Rico if you guys could say hi to people while I get the chat. I can never get my chat before the stream starts because James actually turns it on at a different location. So that's why I'm a little always out of sync at the beginning of my streams. So
James, you wanna jump in? Do you do your normal?
Yeah, I can do that. Absolutely.
Before you start, let me just say, Ed said that I know a lot about stupid things. Yeah, that's my forte. If it's stupid, I probably know it.
it's what I like to do.
I'm into that. It keeps life interesting and conversations. We have got Redual Sing Aquarium Cop, Pridemore's Fishing More, John McKenzie rolling on through here, Douglas Ragsdale. Oh goodness, Chevy Fish. Hello. Fantastic Freaks. Sean OOTD. I know I missed a couple of people. I know I did because I saw some other names. There we go. Air Apostle 760. I appreciate you all being here. I will mostly be, as Ed said, doing tech support and behind the scenes, but I may chime in from time to time. How could you not with these two awesome guys?
When we might hear some snoring every once in a while from that corner.
Yeah. Okay, I'm up. That's awesome. I've got the chat up. Thank you so much, guys. Well, we like to talk about different things, and Lefty loves to talk about Pokemon. So why don't we just really quick say, Rico, what's your favorite Pokemon?
I don't know any of them other than like Pikachu. And my youngest son is still into it. He's 19. He's still huge into Pokemon stuff. In fact, he just ordered some cards. He was waiting for them to come today. Even my oldest son, who just turned 30 yesterday, is still into Pokemon stuff. So I don't know, maybe something weird like Squirtle, just because of the name. Maybe in an adult manner. We'll leave it at that.
I like Squirtle. He's a turtle. He's not real. He's probably the least Pokemon. Well, no, there's one that looks like a robin. It's just like a robin bird.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how is that a Pokemon? It's just a cartoon robin.
Yeah.
But I love Jigglypuff just because it's so stupid.
I feel like I played a game with Jigglypuff way back in the day. Maybe on the N64 or something. I don't remember. It seems like I played a game with Jigglypuff. Is there a video game that you're aware of?
They had Smash Brothers, and it was like a fighting game, but it had like Mario, and it had I'm almost positive it had Jigglypuff in it.
Maybe that's what it was.
Had Kirby in it. They took a bunch of different characters from different things and put it into a beat each other up game.
Gotcha. That's probably what it was.
I loved how Jigglypuff would always put everybody to sleep by singing Jigglypuff. Because you got like these great big giant things, and he does that, or she does that. Well, James, do you have any opinions on?
If I had to pick a favorite right now, it'd probably be Snorlax. That guy got to lay down for 17 years before he had to set up. So
that's probably the most fitting right there.
Yes, absolutely. I can also relate to his big old belly. So there you go.
Yeah, well, I probably look more like Jiggly than anybody else. So.
Yeah,
Oh,
if I knew him, I'm sure there's one out there that was sort of my spirit animal, but I have no idea. I don't really know that much about him.
yeah, I would when I was a photographer, I used to watch just enough cartoons to be able to talk with the kids. And so I watched just enough of those cartoons so I would have an idea of, guys to talk about.
Yeah,
you know. And so I played the Pokemon Go for about a week or two. And that was during the contract negotiations. We were so bored, we'd have to sit there in an office and wait like 3 or 4 hours for the management to come back to give us a reply. And then they would want us to say yes or no, like in 5 minutes. It was like, give me a break. But so we would sit there, and my buddy set up on my telephone an ability that we could go anywhere in the world.
Oh,
and catch these things.
Yeah,
You cheater.
Yeah.
I just ran around Central Park all day long. And then I kept my phone there, so that way my insurance people, when they'd watch my phone, they just thought I sat in Central Park all day long. That's the GPS that I was always at.
They still play that. My youngest son still plays that quite often. When it first came out, though, it was quite the phenomenon. It was awesome that all kinds of different people were meeting up in places outdoors and doing something. I wish it would have kept going, or there was other games. I mean, because I know there's been a few other games that are sort of like it, but I wish it would have, because it really brought people together, all different kinds of people. You'd see like old people and gangbangers in the park, just going to get Pokemon, and everybody working together and stuff.
Oh yeah.
They went everywhere, and I don't know if there's ever been a more physical, positive video game.
Yeah.
No, it was great. I know a lot of people that had a lot of help with weight loss and depression and things like that. We used to play it religiously. I mean, it was addictive. But we used to play it religiously, and we were, parts of those crazy diehard groups that were standing out there in the rain in a circle around, and you go, oh, those idiots are playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah. Excuse me.
But of course, just like always, you always hear the horror stories. Oh, a girl fell off of a bridge.
Yeah.
Somebody got killed protecting one of their places or something. Didn't you have was it the training center? What was it called?
Yeah, well, you had the Pokestops where you would go and get items. And then there were just places that typically more Pokemon would spawn or pop up. Mm. So like parks and public places and things with a lot of cell phone activity. Because
sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying they basically did a maps overlay, and they took cell phone activity and said these are really active places that cell phones are pinging constantly. So we're going to put, my lights keep flashing. We're going to put more Pokemon here, and that would tend to be your parks and places like that. A lot of businesses, for better or worse, churches. There were a lot of issues with churches having to request to be removed as Pokestops because people would show up there. Yeah. And then they had the gyms, which is where you'd see the people in a circle because they would have special events at those gyms that were like a limited time. Like you had an hour to show up and quote unquote battle this Pokemon as a group for a chance to catch it. So you have, 5, 10, 20 people showing up. And I mean, sometimes, there'd be 30, 40, 60 of us sometimes that would all enter, and you'd have to break up into separate groups because you could only do 20 people in one group for a battle. But that was where you'd actually see people kind of huddled around, a lot of times in a circle, all doing the same thing. Or you'd see people with 2 phones just tapping on their phones. And that was the gyms or the I think they're still called gyms. But yeah, that's where you'd have to get together with people, and you had to have help to beat most of these things, or at least the really quote unquote important ones, for even a chance to try and collect one of them or catch them.
Yeah. Amazing. It's amazing what it did.
Yeah. It was kind of fun though.
It was.
I mean, really, I enjoyed it.
I played it a little bit.
Yeah.
There was actually a game before it that I can't remember what it was called now. But it was it's the same company who made Pokemon Go.
Ingress.
What's that?
I think it was Ingress or Egress, but it was the geolocation. So they took a lot of those same things and they used those and applied them to Pokemon Go.
Yeah, we played that quite a bit. So like we would go drive to, Auburn, which is 40 minutes from me, upstate New York here. We drive down there, but any place on the way, I'd stop and do stuff with that Ingress. I don't remember what you did. I don't remember. I think you had to have a certain amount of people in the area and blue versus red or something. I just don't even remember what you did.
I remember that now. Some guy was trying to recruit me to play that game, but I just didn't have time. I do remember that. I'm trying to find my favorite thing about Pokemon Go, and that was the screenshots.
Yeah.
Did you ever take a screenshot of the Pokemon?
I did. I've deleted that file since because it got huge. But yeah, that was the thing in and of itself because they had the AR camera. So you could pop it up and it would have just the Pokemon. And you could have the Pokemon in the fish tank or the Pokemon sitting on your plate. Or you could move your phone around and place the Pokemon in different places for funny pictures. We have one of the Pokemon. It's an electric bird. And it's a very powerful electric bird. And one of the places we had to go to do one of those battles to try and catch it was like up on top of a mountain at a radio station. And there's all sorts of, the radio towers and power lines and all that stuff. So it was like you put this big old electric bird shooting out lightning bolts up in the power lines and take a picture of it, weird stuff like that.
And I might be wrong, but I believe there was like, even for a while there, a whole genre of porn based on just that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Of placing the Pokemon, I seem to recall that.
I could believe that. All right, I've got some Googling to do. I'll be back, guys.
I don't care what it is. If it's something popular, there's going to be a genre of porn based on it.
Absolutely.
And nothing wrong with that.
I'm searching for my Pokemon, but this is my mom and dad, I think 4 or 5 Halloweens ago, sitting in front of their house giving out candy.
Oh, nice.
Coolest mom and dad in the world.
Absolutely.
Oh, gosh, I forgot I had that photo. Gosh, I want to show you guys a Pokemon.
I almost felt like we saw a couple just there.
Right?
Yeah, kind of.
That's cool, though, when you're going through your phone like that and finding, especially if you've had a phone for a long time or you've got your stuff set up so that you can see Google Drive or whatever, and you find those images that you just totally forgot about, funny things that have happened. I love that. I have a lot of that with my kids. I have some, every once in a while I'll be scanning through and, find pictures of the kids when they were like 2 or 3 years old. Man, there's a lot of people in chat right now, a lot of cool people. I see Kenny, Rocco, Madrul, damn it, Chevy, Fantastic Freaks, Michael Long, Trevor, whole bunch of cool people.
Cole's here, and he plays Pokemon, he said. He just hasn't played in a couple of weeks.
And he said, my grandpa owns a restaurant in Indy, and he tried to get it to be a Pokestop, but I think it fell through. That's cool.
Oh.
That's cool, too, because it does help those small businesses a little bit by becoming a Pokestop, because even though people just come in, it almost looks like he's looking at him. Almost.
Yep. I
Nice.
readjusted, and I tried to get that bird right on him.
Now, which one was that? Which cat was that?
This is Nico.
Okay. Nice.
Baby cat would have attacked the bird. And that's that stupid Pokemon that looks like a robin.
Oh, gotcha.
I lived down in the country, and that was the only Pokemon that would walk through my house. Was the stupid bird.
Yeah, that's a Pidgey. That and the rat were kind of the bane of your existence when you're playing Pokemon. Something popped up. It's another damn Pidgey or another rat. Because they were everywhere.
There's also a crab.
Yeah.
I remember a crab all over the place. Oh, we got Danica in here, too.
Yeah, like Sean had pointed out. they've actually made it now with everything going on. They've added what they call remote raid passes. So where, people can't really get together like they could before. You can still invite your friends to join in with you on those battles for those special Pokemon, quote unquote.
Well, that's awesome. You know what, James, we ought to do the Pokemon thing again. And when we go on a trip out somewhere, try to find a Pokemon.
I've played it a couple times when we're sitting at the hotel.
Oh, cool.
Because I've got 3 accounts. Actually, I've got like 7 accounts, but I've got 3 accounts that are all maxed out. Which technically now they're not. And that's part of what lost some people is they put a level cap on it. So once you hit level 40, you couldn't progress any further. You were maxed out. And, you've done some gaming. Anybody that, can relate to gaming knows when they level cap something and you get to it, it's kind of like, where do I go from here? And they finally have opened that up this year. They were supposed to this month after a couple of years. But I know, like, I ended up with 3 maxed out accounts. And I'm like, okay, what do I do? Start another one from scratch?
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I missed the first part of that. What game was that? Pokemon Go?
Pokemon Go, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wow, Cole has the cards. He has over $1,500 worth in cards.
Wish I still had mine.
My son he has a huge collection too and a ton of cards. I don't know if he's got a ton. Every once in a while he talks about opening up an old pack and he finds something that's worth $70-$80.
The only card builder game that I bought ever that came in packages of individual packs was the original Magic the Gathering.
Same.
And
Never played
I
it.
bought it on the alpha version when it first came out. You bought a little pack of cards like a deck or like 52 bicycle cards in there.
Oh, gotcha.
And that's how it first came, I think, in cardboard. And I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe there was like the aluminum packages.
We had both.
I hated it so much. I ended it, and then there's this guy in college that loved it 3 years later. So I took him to him and said, "Hey, you want them to buy them?" Or he said he'd pay for them. And so I said, "Okay." And then he was like, "Okay." And he got all excited. And he offered me like $500 for them. And I'm like, "Oh, geez, I can't take the $500 from you." But then he pulled out the money. And it's like, "Yeah, I'll take the $500."
Right. Some of those are worth a pretty penny.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think I had a Black Lotus in there, so that's worth a lot more now.
Yeah.
I never did the card games, but I was big into sports cards and stuff. I put it over there. I forgot. I have a Walter Payton rookie that's in thick lucite. I usually keep them in a black bag.
I have a Mike Singletary rookie.
Yeah, I've got
not as much as Walter, but
I had every single Chicago Bear from 1972 to 1995. Every one from any major brand. And then I had most of them back to 68, and then I had a few sprinkled back into the 40s and 50s. 95 is when I stopped collecting, but I still have that. Man, I just put it away somewhere.
I know I have my hand.
I just had it out. It was just here. But
you don't have your cards in your fish tank room either.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm still moving all that stuff out. I had Joe Montana's rookie, a bunch, just a ton of sports cards, baseball, football, and hockey.
My most valuable card I have is the one that it has Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and the guy who wasn't a rookie that year, who was the best dunker at the time. Oh, gosh. You see, Topps made like these 3 individual long cards, but they didn't always cut them in that group arrangement of 3. So you never knew exactly where it was going to cut, but it was like the perfect cut. And I got all my cards from my dad's best friend was a Topps dealer.
Oh,
and
nice.
sold all the cards to all the stores. And whenever they didn't want a box and he would trade in the New Year box for the old box, he'd just give me last year's boxes.
Nice. Wow.
And so I had so many cards that I got free over the years. It was amazing. But the ones I loved the most were the Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I became a garbage pail dealer because I would go to school and there's a lot of kids that weren't allowed to buy them. So I was trading garbage pail packages for mechanical pens and G.I. Joes, Star Wars men.
Nice.
Yeah.
You remember the what were they called? Wacky stickers or wacky? They had like
Were they little squares?
they were like normal sized cards, but I think a lot of stickers. And
were they really cool cars?
they were no, they were. I remember that one too, though. They were like brand names, but they changed them to be something really weird.
Okay, yeah, I know what those are too.
Wacky packages, I think they were called. Man, I got to look it up now. I swear that's what they were called. Something like that. That was like early 70s. They were really, really popular. Yeah, Wacky Packages, 1973.
Oh, no. Fishkeeper Cole is asking me about Pogs.
Oh.
I actually predate Pogs.
I had some, though. They were in the
Pogs,
90s. Oh, look, there's my daughter's here.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think my wife is actually watching, too. Hold on, let me scroll through. Yeah, there you go. Thanks. See, so look like Kook Aid, Rats. They were Captain Crud. I just absolutely love those. And I used to have stacks and stacks of all the different types.
Now, my sister ended up with a lot of those because she liked, they were a little more her style, I guess. Girl style. I don't know. But she got a lot of the candy too. Because he would have, Topps made a lot of different types of weird candies. I remember they had an apple. There's a plastic apple with a plastic worm that came out of the top, but you would pop the worm off and you could shake gum worms out. And they had that. They just had a lot of goofy things like that.
Topps made, that's why it was easy to collect though in the 70s, because it was pretty much Topps was pretty much it for pretty much all the 70s. Probably from like 65 until about right around 1980. I can't remember who came in first, maybe Don Russ or Score. I don't remember who it was, but that's when the other brands started coming in. And by like 1990, there was, 50 different brands making cards. So it was almost impossible to collect everything. Yeah. So my wife is listening, but she's still working. It's early. Oh, no, she's not. She must be driving. It's 20 to 5 our time, so she must be driving.
Well, what was your biggest mistake in collecting cards? Did you ever go after one rookie thinking he was going to be super good? Oh, I did.
No, because I didn't really collect in the hopes of getting that card that was going to be worth a lot of money. I only collected so that I could trade in those types of cards to get my old Chicago Bears, my stuff from the 50s and the 40s. Because I really, really wanted to get a complete, like Brett Favre, Fantastic Freaks in here. I had a bunch of Brett Favre rookies.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And I traded a lot of those. I had a bunch of the die-cut Brett Favre cards and stuff. And I got rid of all of those and got cards that I actually wanted.
Yep. Well, I never sold a card in my life. I always traded.
Yeah, traded. Yep.
But I thought I was going to stock up on Eric Lindros rookie cards. Because I'd be able to trade for hockey cards for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I bet you I have 75 Eric Lindros rookie cards.
Was that
he
Score?
Had all the tools to be the greatest hockey player.
Was that Score?
Well, that was actually Upper Deck was the best.
Oh, yep. Upper Deck. Yep. I actually did have Gretzky's rookie at one point. It was actually my wife's. It was actually my wife's card, but it was really beat up. It had like a pinhole in it, and the edges were all fuzzy, and it was just destroyed. And about 92 or so, I took it into a shop, and Guy still gave me $65 for it way back then. And the card itself was just totally destroyed, but I still got $65 for it.
I've got 2 George Brett cards, but one of them I completely destroyed. Because, I'm a kid in Kansas City, and I wanted everybody from the 85 World Series team.
Gotcha.
And Kim Brett was also on the team. George Brett's little brother. And, he was like a relief pitcher, but they didn't make a card for him. So I took an eraser and erased out Brett or George and wrote in Kim.
Nice. Do you remember the Billy Ripken cards? Remember those? The one he's holding the bat and it said something right here.
Oh man!
They actually made 3 of them. The first one that came out said F face. And so they had to get rid of those, right? So then they put out another one, just had a smiley face on it. And then they finally put out a third one that was just a blank bat.
Oh, gosh. I don't know if I did. I need to check that out. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was funny when it first came out, because how does that make it through,
Yeah.
It was pretty... it was blatant, too. You could just, as soon as we saw the card, we're like, wait, does that say face?
Well,
and I do have Cal Ripken's rookie too. It's sort of like those cards you talked about with 3, although they weren't cut separately. You knew those 3 players were on all of them, the same 3 players. So I can't remember who else is on the card with Cal, but I do have his rookie card.
I absolutely love what Priscilla just said. She wishes that people had real world problems. You know what? Cards are a real world problem. There used to be a card shop in every little town.
Yeah.
And I drove by one in Chattanooga yesterday, and I was amazed.
Wow.
There was actually a baseball trading card shop.
Yeah.
And especially in Chattanooga, because they don't even have a pro team. I guess they have Atlanta, the Braves. But it's just bizarre to me. They actually play Cardinals games here on the radio.
Really?
Yeah, St. Louis Cardinals get all the way down here. They have a Cardinal Nation's just huge in the middle of the country.
Yeah, yeah. We actually have it's a comic book card shop. I've never been inside of it either, and I'm into comic books, but in our little town, I don't think he does any sports cards. I think it's mostly Magic and Pokemon cards and stuff like that. But he has it's a gaming place too. The kids go in there and play games and stuff, board games and all that kind of stuff. But I got to go in there. I've never been in there. And that little town, see, I live in a little village that's 1,500 people. I want to say there's about maybe 3,000 in that town, but there's actually grocery stores and stuff there. We have nothing here.
Well, we forced James into one, Sean Peck and I, when we went to Indianapolis. And I think James really had a good time.
I can't confirm nor deny that, sir.
We all spent money.
Yes, it was awesome. It was very neat.
Every time you talk, James, I look at your icon doing the, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm looking at you, right? There's something to be seen, as you talk.
It totally works still for me too.
I had no intentions, in all honesty, of actually being on the show, so to speak. I was going to kind of put it on, produce from the background, and make sure it didn't catch on fire while watching. But I enjoyed conversing with you all. My makeup's not done, so.
Gotcha.
And unfortunately, we're probably talking about things that James doesn't like. But James and I have started playing a game called, we really need to play again. What's our game called? Gaslands.
Gaslands, yes.
Oh, yeah. I saw the cars and stuff that you guys were putting together. It looked awesome.
It is a great game. You guys will just have to take my word. I was going to go and get my book or some of the cars. But anybody out there that's never played like a tabletop game in their life, Gaslands is a great game to get into because you can play with any Matchbox car. And the PDF, that's like the rule book is all online. Well, wait, everybody probably knows what a PDF is, don't they?
I think so.
It took me a while to figure out what's the PDF rulebook thing mean. I was probably the last guy in the world. Oh, that's embarrassing. And then I ended up just buying the hardback book anyway. But it's a tremendously fun game, and you can play with a bunch of guys, and it's just racing cars in a circle. But you can buy different things. Like you have so many points. So maybe you have 10 points, and you can buy like a grenade for 1 point. Maybe you can buy NOS. Is NOS what makes your car go fast?
Yeah.
Okay. You could get NOS for like 3 points. You know, there's different things. Maybe thicker tires so you have better control. I don't know. Just different things. A RAM on the front of your car. So when and you only get to normally use your abilities like once because they're so cheap and you just have so many turns. So you got to plan, okay, I got to wait to save this grenade until James is right next to me. And hopefully I can get away so I don't blow myself up with the grenade. It's great. And James and I and Sean, the first game we ever played, we were basically just like bump, 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 bump. And they both blew up, and I had a clear shot all by myself. And there's like a goalpost that you have to go through, and my car swerved because you have to roll the dice to see if you go straight, and it slightly swerved and hit the goalpost and blew up.
Sounds like the Bears last year.
Yeah. But great game, guys.
It sounds like it's based a little bit on like Mad Max, but then remember that movie Death Race 2000, the old one?
Yes.
Both of those games.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was actually a video game that was sort of based on that too, called Carmageddon. Did you ever see that one?
No.
James, you ever see that one, Carmageddon?
I have not.
So you drove around and you got points for running over certain types of people and damaging the other racers, and it was a fun game. But it sounds a little bit like that. It sounds like the same premise.
I'm thinking I just came up with an idea for the game.
Wait, look down there.
Oh, is that a dog or a cat?
It's a dog.
Awesome.
That's 11. 11.
Oh, nice.
What are you doing?
Oh, he just looked up.
What are you doing, 11? Come here. Want to look? What do I got? Come here.
Well, James, I had an idea. I think I'm going to make little pitmen and make it so, as an idea for one of the races, you can run over the other team's pitmen, or you can run over your own guy and he fixes your car. What do you think?
I like it.
And you can, everybody will get to place a pitman anywhere they want on the track. So,
and see, that's one thing that I enjoyed about it was able to kind of adjust it. It has a set, a set of guidelines or rules or whatever, that everybody can follow. But I play it with the kids, and they absolutely loved it. I just wasn't quite so technical with it, so I would admit some of the finer technicalities of things. Whereas with you, I'd be like, "No, Ed, that's not how that works. You can't do that." But the kids loved it, and it's dice and it's Hot Wheels cars. What's not to love with it? So
yeah, I don't have anybody to play those kind of games with. It's too bad that kind of thing can't be played online. There's no way to really do it. You'd have to have the same car and move my car for me on. It'd be like playing online or something.
I guess we could do something like this and just make your face in the middle of the screen, and you could just watch. And you could have a dice roller that rolls your dice when you need it.
Yeah.
But there's like these oh gosh, what are they called? I wanted to say spatulas. They're not spatulas. Oh, they're a little thing. Oh, we're moving all over the place. As long as Lefty stays in the corner, that's where we want.
In the corner.
I'm glad you moved me. A cigarette was starting to get to me a little bit.
Sorry about that.
But the perfume up here is better.
Yeah.
I think it's Chanel number 5. Okay,
That's
but
definitely the Britney Spears line.
Poor Lefty.
yeah, poor Lefty. And our hearts and thoughts are
Definitely.
with him right now.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
this is what he gets for putting that picture of me on.
Yep. Payback.
Okay, well, I don't know how we've gone so. Oh, look at this cute cat. He wants me to pet his belly. Let's go to. We were thinking about talking about Quentin Tarantino movies, but let's scrap that. Let's talk. We've all seen the Lord of the Rings series, right? Oh, the
Yes.
cat is. Oh, the cat got a hold of Deadpool. He's yanking on Deadpool.
No.
It's all right, guys. Deadpool won't get hurt.
Well, he does. He gets hurt. He just gets healed quickly.
Yeah, he'll heal. I didn't know how the cat was just yanking my thing down. Okay. Well, we all enjoyed Lord of the Rings, correct?
Correct.
It's going to be really distracting.
Love it. The books, the movies, even the old cartoon.
Oh yeah.
You know, the Hobbit as well, the old cartoons and stuff. Even loving. I don't know if you guys did you ever see the old cartoon? Not the Hobbit. Well, the Hobbit was good too, but the Ralph Bakshi, he did a lot of weird stuff with live action animation.
Yeah.
So he did really cool stuff, but it was very, from the 70s, it was very stonerish. You know what I mean? A lot of the stoners are really big into watching it.
Well, weren't the orcs like humans, but it was just a black silhouette?
They were, yeah, they had like glowing eyes and but they were actually people that he just animated over. Same with like the horses and stuff. Same thing. You know, he actually took video of horses and then just basically colored over them.
Yeah, I remember that. I thought that was terrifying.
I loved it. I loved that. You know, it was all we had, right? Because I was a huge fan of Tolkien when I was a little kid. When I was probably around 10 to 15 or so. Fantasy books, I read a ton of them, all of them. And, Tolkien was probably my first into that. And seeing those movies and stuff, seeing it come to life really helped. And that's all we had, right? We didn't have all these fancy movies like the kids today have.
Back in my day.
You kids. So, yeah, anyways, you were saying.
Who is your favorite characters?
Gandalf.
Gandalf? Okay. How about you, James?
Aragorn.
Okay. Mine is Boromir and Boromir, the two brothers.
Yeah.
I could relate with them because I always felt like when the crap hit the fan, I would do the right thing. But I like Boromir because he did the right thing right from the beginning.
Yeah.
But Boromir sacrificed. Boromir would have. But I don't know. I like the whole concept of Boromir was always looked down on and everything else. It's just awesome. So I've always loved that guy. So that's my favorite prize, Boromir, and then Boromir. So Gandalf the Grey. Wait, which one of you guys said Gandalf?
I did. The one who looked like Gandalf.
The Grey, got the beard. You really like Gandalf.
I cosplay him every day.
You shall not pass.
I was gonna do that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fly,
Let's
you
do a different
fools. Yeah, I definitely love the whole idea of the gray wizard and then into the white wizard and the whole wizard. They weren't humans, but they weren't elves or anything either. They were their own. They were very mystical. You know, he didn't really give you a lot of background on what the wizards were exactly. So
Right.
I thought that was so cool that, you know, they were basically immortal, just like the elves were. But where'd they come from? You know, compared to the men, compared to the hobbits and the dwarves, and they were their own separate category.
Yeah, well, and especially given as much as Tolkien put into backstory for everything. The fact that the wizards, you didn't get that because it was just, we don't have that knowledge, is a very cool thing about them. You know, you could go back through this entire lineage through 1,000 years because he went and did all this back history, but the wizards was like, no, this is going to be a mystery. You get all this other stuff, but we're not going to really give you much on these guys.
Gandalf was a badass too. Remember, you know, Helm's Deep, when he came up right at the perfect time with the sun and they charged down. That was one of those, kind of moments in a movie. I love those kind of movies that are, you know, I get it. It's a little cheesy and it plays on your emotions and stuff, but there's, if a movie had like Avengers Endgame, I felt had a lot of those, like, you know, when Captain America picks up Thor's hammer, which I'm not going to try and say, Mjolnir, whatever, when he picked it up, and everybody's like, I knew it, you know, that part gave me a chill, and I was like, yeah, you know, I love those kind of scenes in movies.
We got Mob Guppy says, I really like the blonde gal. Big Tank Hank saying Smog whenever he made declarations.
I like what Kira said. You see what
Kira said? Hi,
I like Gandalf too. He's a silver fox with a big staff.
Oh, I see that one now.
Hey, there's Mob Guppy. Hey, Peter, how you doing?
That's too funny.
And Big Tank Hank. You know, there's a ton of people I didn't say hi to before that, you know, everybody's coming in. So, hey, everybody, I see tons and tons of names. And it's always awesome to see everybody. I just have so much fun doing these streams and seeing all these amazing people in this amazing community.
So, I'm not camera ready. Speaking Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
If you went to the trilogy release of Return of the King, these were made by Weta Workshops, who did the like all the special, not really special effects, what I'm looking for. They made all the like swords and armor type, like that type of stuff, like the casting type things like this is made out of. But they gave one of these out if you went to the midnight release of the trilogy or of the Return of the King, in which you got to sit there and watch the first two movies leading up to the Return of the King being legally allowed to be played.
I did that, but I didn't get those movies.
Yeah, I think this was out in Nashville where I got these, but my whole family.
St. Louis, it's like
there were like a dozen of us, and we all went in costume. And we'd all handmade our costumes. So I was Aragorn. Cool. My mom was Gimli, as a matter of fact. She even had the beard and everything and had made her own helmet. And they wouldn't let us take our weapons in for whatever reason. I don't know. But it was just, Lord of the Rings is one of those things I definitely nerd out on. I had that on the shelf right above the piranha tank. So
now, when I say, I shouldn't have said like the ghetto, but they don't, St. Louis like gets the shaft so bad. Like, we never got the cool stuff that other places get. Star Wars, they all got these cool TIE fighter popcorn buckets that go around their necks, except in St. Louis. And it's like, what? Oh, it makes me mad.
I don't remember ever getting anything from going to watch a movie. I don't think I ever went to, a lot of times I miss the premieres of stuff, though, because there's just too many people.
I have vacation days.
I like to go when, like, on a Tuesday afternoon. Like, we went and saw one of the Star Wars movies, one of the chronologically second trilogy, right? No, chronologically the first trilogy, right? So we had Star Wars, The New Hope, we had Empire Strikes Back, but then the next three movies, I don't remember which one it was, but I took the kids to see it, and it was us and like three other people in the theater. It was awesome. And that's when I like to go to the movies, when there's not a lot of other people there. Nobody's on their cell phone. Nobody's talking. Everybody's just into the movie,
See, If you go on a premiere, though, when there's a lot of fans, it's kind of fun when everybody cheers.
Yeah.
When everybody claps at the end.
Yeah.
Everybody cheers when the credits start. There's just different things. It's kind of fun.
I get you.
With a fan-based movie.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah, it adds to it. It's almost like going to Rocky Horror Picture Show type thing, where you're really involved and it really. I get it. I get what you're saying. Yeah, definitely.
It's funny you mention that because that's one of the things that will always stick with me. Bear in mind at this point, the theater of people had kind of been together for 6+ hours because we'd watched the first movie and the second movie. So it's time for the third movie to drop. The people from the movie company would come in because it was like a special thing. There were certain locations you could get tickets and you could go to this, and they'd come out and they had the special gift for you. But the third movie starts and the THX screen pops up with that. And I've never heard so many people cheer for that popping up on the screen.
Yeah.
Because we're all like, it's here. Yes. So yeah, that's what popped into my head when you mentioned that, Ed, and that will always be stuck with me.
Yeah, I probably missed out on some because of that. I can definitely see that. We all saw the meme of the guy in Star Wars that was like, opening his mouth real wide, like, oh my God, when you go and there's not that many people, I guess you do miss out on those types of things.
Yep. Well, like when Tony Stark goes down or sacrifices himself, I think you heard it like a unified.
Yep. Yep.
Every elbow went up in the place.
Yep. And us old guys, right? We're not supposed to cry. Oh, I cry all the time at those types of things. I cry when the national anthem is played at things, and I get teary-eyed. Any of that kind of emotional stuff, you can definitely easily pull my heartstrings.
I am the same way. Yeah. I get so excited. I cry because I get excited. Like in the second new Star Wars one, like the 3 new ones.
Okay.
The one in the middle, the one that I hate the most.
Yeah.
I was so excited in the first 15 minutes when Poe is taking on the whole fleet.
Yeah.
It was so awesome. And then it was like the rest of the movie was like, I hate this movie. Still, it was worth just for the first 15 minutes. I actually should buy that movie. And then I could scratch the rest of it. I could watch that scene over and over. I love Poe. He was so amazing.
We should try and do a watch party. I don't know what the legalities of those are. I know some people do them, but it would be very cool to do a watch party for Lord of the Rings or some of that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I've been dying to watch Endgame again, and nobody really wants to watch it with me. My wife, who's probably, what time is it? Oh, she's probably actually out in the living room now. She might be home. If not, she's almost home, so she might still be listening. But she doesn't care to watch movies more than once. She's seen it, and there are some movies she'll watch more than once, but there's very few. And I love going back and rewatching movies, over and over.
Me too.
My kids they're more on TV shows like that, though. Like my daughter has watched The Office probably 20 times, beginning to end. My son, Parks and Rec. They've got other shows, Community, all of those shows. They just watch them over and over and over again. So I don't know how they do that. I mean, I can watch it once in a while, but I can't do it like they do.
Oh gosh, I love those too. But
Great shows.
You know what? Maybe we'll have to get together. I'll bring the shrimp cocktail and the nachos.
Nice.
And
that's a combination.
Yeah, and you can bring the sweet tea. And we'll sit there and eat all night long.
That sounds like a blast.
It does.
That would be awesome. Although the combination probably wouldn't be good for me. I love shrimp cocktail and I love nachos, but together I think I would end up eating a little bit of both, and I don't think that would fit well with me.
That's like taking shrimp tacos to a whole new level.
Yeah.
But See, I love nachos with movies because I worked at a movie theater and I can't do popcorn. I spent almost a year on nothing but popcorn.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I had for dinner every night was popcorn, movie theater popcorn.
Yep.
And as much pop and popcorn as I could drink, so that I did it that way. And now I can't do popcorn.
What about the smell even? Does the smell like bother you? Or?
I like the smell.
Oh.
It just doesn't feel good inside.
Yeah. Years and years ago, I worked at a pizza place. Actually, where I met my wife. I worked at a pizza place, and my roommate was a bar cook. So he made a lot of wings and stuff like that, right? So every night he would bring home wings, and I'd bring home a pizza, and we lived off of pizza and wings except Thursdays. Every Thursday we'd go to an Asian-inspired buffet, and that was it. But every other night we lived off of pizza and wings for just probably 3 or 4 years.
That sounds wonderful.
I still love pizza and wings today. I never got tired of it. Of course, that was a long time ago. We're talking, we're talking, 30 some years ago. So,
well, the wonderful thing about pizza is it can be done so many different ways.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's only right if it's stuffed crust.
I do prefer stuffed crust, but I'm not that picky. I'll eat pretty much anything on pizza except for broccoli. Here in New York, they like to put broccoli on pizza, and that's just disgusting. But pretty much everything else.
Anchovies and green stuff can stay off.
I like anchovies. You just got to do minimal. You can't do a lot of it because it just a little bit goes a long way.
My mom and dad love the anchovies, and I've only been able to find one pizzeria in all of Chattanooga that puts anchovies on, and it's one Domino's.
Wow.
It's a Domino's of all places. So every so often I go to Red Bank, which is an hour drive, and I'll get them a anchovy pizza.
Just get the anchovies in the can. It's the same ones, and put them on the pizza when it gets there.
I think they like it baked in.
Yeah, it is better because you put just a little bit, and then it sort of, the juices and stuff spread throughout so one little bit on each slice, and it does it.
Yeah.
So, Shy Miss Fever, she's a texture person. Gotcha. She can't stand pepperonis. Absolutely hates the texture of eating pepperonis. But she will order a pepperoni pizza so that it gets baked in and the flavor gets into the pizza, and then all the pepperonis get picked off and pour me. I eat them, and that's just terrible for me. But yeah, it's one of those things I can understand that you want that flavor to get in there and seep in. Yeah.
Well, personally, I think pepperonis are overrated a little in the pizza world.
You're overrated, Ed.
I do love it when they turn into a crispy little bowl with grease in it.
Yeah.
That's good. But still, it's got to have sausage, I think.
Absolutely.
And extra cheese. I love lots of cheese.
My favorite, and I'm sure this is going to cause a lot of controversy, is sausage, pineapple, and jalapeno. That's my absolute favorite. Because it's hot, but it's sweet, and then the sausage is in there too.
I actually want to try that. You're saying that, and that sounds like it could be really, really good to me. Actually, I could also hate you for it, but it sounds like I think I could really enjoy that.
I think we're having, we are. We're having tonight. My youngest son he decided to make like a pizza buffet thing. So he's making a bunch of ingredients so we can put our own stuff on the pizza and then bake it. So we each put our own little pizza. He's a great cook. For 19, he just really, he cooks most nights. He really, and he cooks all kinds of stuff. I mean, he makes some amazing foods, and it's all from scratch and stuff. And he does a really, really good job at cooking.
Well, that's awesome. I wish there was a really good pizza place like that around here, or your son. But there's not a lot of Italians that settled in the South, or at least in Chattanooga.
That's because you want to put pineapple on pizza. We've got Rocco in here saying, okay, I'm Italian. Pineapple don't belong on pizza.
Anything I want belongs on my pizza. That's the thing. People, I know it's for fun, but people really do. Some people really get upset about that, saying that you don't put this on that. And no, I do whatever the hell I want. It's my food. I'll eat it the way I want,
Yeah.
It's like food is like religion.
Yes.
Okay. It's a very personal thing, and everybody should have their own way of doing it.
Yeah, and nobody else should judge.
Well, and like here in the South,
as long as it doesn't affect somebody else.
Yeah.
Don't make me eat your stinking pizza, Rico.
Right.
You can't have baby on pizza. But that's just
down here in the South, you could be considered blasphemous for putting the wrong thing in your potato salad. It's a religion. It is.
Is mustard? That's the German type, right? Is that big?
You see a lot of mustard.
Mustard potato salad, is that like a big?
That's typically, like, even if you go in the store and you want to buy some from the deli, it's mustard potato salad. I'm not personally a fan of the mustard based. I'll take a little bit in there, but I'm a mayonnaise guy myself personally.
Yeah, so. I love the mustard one. And Ed, you can't have that, right? You're allergic, right?
Yeah, I'm allergic to mustard. I can have a little bit, but if there's much in it at all, it starts to blister me up. But I think, there's a lot of Germans in St. Louis area, and I actually grew up or went to high school in a German town, and it was like in high school you only could learn German or English. Those were foreign language German, and they did. I think it was a vinegar potato salad, but it was warm.
Oh yeah, yep.
So
and I think it's called German potato salad, right? I think that's what German potato salad is. Maybe somebody in the chat knows exactly. I believe that's what it is.
I like it.
I'm liking Rocco's ingredients there. Tater salad is mayo, eggs, taters, spring onions, and sugar. I like the sounds of that.
Yeah, I'd eat that. I'm not a potato salad purist. It doesn't have to be. I'll pretty much eat any kind you make.
John Cox is the first person I've ever met with the same allergic ability to mustard. They always ask. It's so bizarre. I've never met anybody. That's so cool, John. Well, it's a shame, but it's so cool. And if I eat, there's a place in Nashville, and it's called Dick's Burgers. And they act really jerky to you there. And I said, no mustard on my... They put a whole ton of mustard on my burger.
That's dangerous.
And it's like, I'm allergic. And I bit into it. I was on the toilet all night long because I swallowed it all the way down. And it made me that sick.
If somebody says that, they should pay attention because people do have dietary restrictions. And
yeah, I was I'm allergic to this.
Chevy said something. I'm sorry, Ed. Chevy just said something here that confused me a little bit. But even though I love a Chicago-style hot dog, I went with ketchup and poo-poo on the finger pointers. Chevy, I'm not sure what that is exactly.
Chevy's referencing wanting the ketchup, but there it can be considered blasphemous and just crap on those finger pointers that don't like the ketchup. If I want ketchup on my hot dog, which I do, I'm putting ketchup on my dog. But yeah, and mayonnaise can be one of those things as well. You've got people that are like, you put mayonnaise on your burger?
I don't like it.
No.
I love mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise on a tomato sandwich. That's about the only place I like to toast my bread just a little bit. Mayonnaise, thick sliced tomatoes right out of the garden with some salt on it. That's it.
Now, not to be confused with Miracle Whip. Those are not the same thing, and I will fight you if you try to tell me differently and feed me Miracle Whip.
I probably wouldn't know the difference, though.
She just licked my nose. It was so cute.
Oh, I missed it.
Lefty's here.
Gonna have to... Oh, there he is. Lefty.
You're with us in spirit right here. We got you in your Andre the Giant outfit.
Lefty, if you feel like sharing, did everything go okay? Is there, do they know anything yet? Is it going to take a while? Or if it's too personal, I get it.
I can't have Heinz 57 sauce.
Huh, so they must have mustard in it, the actual mustard spice. Maybe.
I don't know. I've used Heinz 57. It hasn't bothered me. But
I thought you were saying you were with John Cox that you both. Okay.
Yep. Oh, no fighting, guys. The cats are fighting. Okay. They didn't want to be seen fighting, so Nico left.
I like my hot dogs. They call it walking it through the garden. So there's tomatoes on it. There's that really bright green relish. There's onions. I like all that kind of stuff on the hot dog.
I like hot dogs every possible way there is. I don't know if I can have a bad hot dog. I mean, I love mustard, but I can't have it. So you could pretty much put anything on a hot dog and I'll eat it.
See, I do have one problem with hot dogs once in a while, though. So it's really more about scotch. Because when I was a kid, I wasn't a kid. I was like 15. So, yeah, kid. My older brother drank a bottle of scotch and ate a package of raw hot dogs, just cheap raw hot dogs. Didn't even cook them.
How old?
So my brother was 17.
Okay.
And right after he ate all that, he threw up all of that right in our driveway. And that smell has stuck with me to this day. So I can't drink any kind of scotch. As soon as I smell it, I feel like I'm going to throw up. I like rum. I like, whiskey. I don't drink much these days, but I used to be a pretty heavy drinker. And I never could do scotch because of that smell.
I can handle amaretto.
Yeah. That's a nice that's the cherry one, right?
What? It could. I don't know.
I think it's a cherry liqueur, amaretto.
Oh, I thought it was from
I could be wrong.
Almonds.
Oh, maybe you're right.
I think it's almonds.
You're probably right.
But it's delicious.
Lefty.
Oh my gosh. You guys are making me hungry for hot dogs. There's a restaurant here in Chattanooga called Mad Dogs, I think it's Bad Dogs. And they make crazy awesome hot dogs. I keep seeing the commercials before I watch YouTube videos. It comes up and it's like, I go there so bad. But yeah, you guys are all making me hungry. Sheesh.
Definitely. I have spaghetti waiting for me. That's why I muted my mic. I had to find out what was going on.
Let's see. I have stew and dumplings waiting for me. Now, what about sauerkraut?
Yeah.
I like sweet kraut. The Czechs, we put a lot of sugar in our sauerkraut, so it's not sour, it's sweet.
Yeah.
But I love it.
I would try that definitely because I like bread and butter pickles more than like a dill pickle. So I bet I'd like that more too. And Chevy, she screw the finger pointers. In other words, okay,
yeah.
I got you now. It wasn't, poo poo on the fingers wasn't sitting with me. I didn't know what it meant.
Wow, Lefty, his mom's in the hospital, so his dad and him must be foraging for food, and they're having squirrel stew for dinner.
That's one of those things you can usually rely on some squirrels being around the hospital, so you just go out there and,
Yeah, you take some of that popcorn that nobody wants to eat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you actually ever had squirrel?
I have not.
Me neither.
Squirrel is one thing I haven't had. I've seen it field dressed.
I've been offered it, I think, and I turned it down, which I don't know why. I mean, now
rule number 16: you never turn down a good squirrel.
When I was in high school, my buddy, his grandma owned a orchard, peaches and apples, and she would pay him 25 cents a squirrel, and he'd go out with a 22. I wasn't allowed to shoot because she didn't probably want to have the insurance, or if he shot I guess if he shot me, it'd be all right, but she didn't want me to shoot myself, I guess. Or maybe she didn't want me to shoot him. I don't know. But, yeah, it was crazy how you do a squirrel. You take them, like their little hands like this in your arm, and you just go, and you can just field dress them and shoot it all out their butt. And then he would take them, and she would cook with it, but I never hung around to eat any.
Well, I'm not hungry now. I appreciate that, Ed. We've got about 37 minutes left, so that works.
I'll just take a bag of apples and leave. But yeah, good times.
Funny. Lefty said it's tasty.
Well,
and I'm not one of those people that turns stuff down like, oh, that's squirrel. I'm like, no, I'll try it. I just haven't had the opportunity.
Yeah, I did turn it down, but I mean, I would definitely try it. There's not much I don't like. I don't like liver, and I can't stand raisins.
So I'm going to take this back slightly fish related. I apologize for doing that, but it's on topic with eating weird things. How would you feel about eating a common Plecostomus?
Well, I've had catfish, especially you soak catfish for, a day in milk, get rid of that gamey taste. And I got to imagine a good sized common pleco wouldn't taste that much different. The bottom feeders, though, I guess they're considered dirty fish, right?
Right.
So I think you'd have to do something with it to prepare it well, to remove that gamey type fishy, real super strong fishy flavor.
Yeah, I'd say you're right on that. And I just mentioned because you've got like Corey who has been down there. You've seen the videos of him, and they have the pleco soup or the pleco thing on there, and of course they're eating, piranha and discus and that type of stuff. Things that, as hobbyists, we go, I wouldn't eat my fish out of the tank, but if I was in South America and somebody said, "Hey, here's some pleco stew," I'd give it a go. I like trying different foods, different. From different cultures and stuff. I absolutely enjoy it. And my favorite, if I had to pick just one food to eat the rest of my life, it would be sushi. Absolutely love sushi.
I think I would try just about anything. I read the Norman Schwarzkopf biography, and his dad was an ambassador over in the Middle East. And that's how he ended up being in charge of the Middle East, because he knew so much about the culture and everything growing up there. But when his dad was invited to a party or something, he would take his son, Norman, and they would give them both the goat eyes, one each a goat eye. And it was honorable to eat this goat eye. And I think I draw the line at eyeballs. I just can't do the eyeballs.
Yeah, that does sound weird, especially if they pop.
Oh, yeah.
So are you good on the goat testicles then, just not the goat eyes?
Rocky Mountain oysters. If it tastes like a scallop, I'm all for it.
I've never had them, but I would definitely try them.
Yeah, I'm not a wuss.
I mean,
everything tastes good fried.
Absolutely.
They're safe as far as that goes. Nothing's 100% safe, right? But I mean, they're pretty common. People do eat them. There's nothing proven that they're bad for you. So as long as it's something that's not proven to be bad for you, just a couple bites is not bad for you, I would definitely try it.
Absolutely.
So, what's the next question, James? What else will I eat?
Oh Lord, I'm just supposed to be the tech guy here. I will say it's great with you. We're always, when we're on the road, we're looking for different things to eat. That's a big part of our adventure, as I like to call it, is what can we find to eat while we're out and about? What's new? What's different? What does this place have that we don't have back home, so to speak?
So what is your area now, Ed? What is it known for? Is there any? So up here, Rochester is not too far. It's about an hour and a half from me. And their claim to fame for food is called a garbage plate. They invented the garbage plate, which is just, burgers and hamburgers, cheeseburgers and hot dogs and beans and everything just basically in a pile. Yeah. That's their claim to fame, which to me sucks. I'm not a big fan of the garbage plate. It's just, it doesn't do anything for me. So what are you guys known for there?
Well, what? I mean, Southern cooking is huge here. Lots of gravy and stuff. But we're moon pies, or I guess maybe is the Chattanooga thing. What do you think, James?
I honestly, I don't really know. I guess I'm not culturally in tune with the area, if you will.
Cakes, big cakes. There's lots of giant cakes and giant desserts and things here.
Mm.
So the moon pie, I mean, you've had moon pies, probably.
Yeah.
Those are all made here in Chattanooga. But I guess the sweets kind of develop from that. That and sweet tea is with everything because I'm in the South. I don't do grits, but all the comfort foods, the fried, lots of fried chicken everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, like Jack in the Box. I don't know if Jack's and Jack in the Box is the same company, but Jack's, there's a place called Jack's, and it looks just like Jack in the Box without the box, like how they spell it. I took James there, and because I was like, oh yes, I love Jack in the Box, and it's like I love their fried tacos, and they're like, no, we have fried chicken, and Crystal's is fried chicken, but Crystal's is just it's owned by the same people that do White Castles.
Oh.
But instead of White Castles, we have Crystals. It's crazy. Everything has fried chicken here. So maybe fried chicken is huge in the South.
It definitely is. And we don't really, you don't find a ton of fried chicken here. I mean, obviously it's around, but no place is really known for fried chicken, but grilled, like almost every weekend, we have all volunteer fire departments here, right? There's no actual fire department. They're all volunteer fire departments. And every weekend, one of them will be doing a chicken grill out somewhere. So you go to Walmart or whatever, and they've got these huge, massive trailers that are grills, and they're just grilling chicken on it. So grilled chicken is definitely big, but not so much fried chicken.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I had fried chicken, so maybe I'm really missing out.
Well, it sounds good now. Everything sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm starting to really get hungry. Here, Fantastic Freak has a question for us there.
Oh, shoot.
Hottest wings you've eaten. Quaker Steak and Lube in Council Bluffs has some really hot wings.
I don't do hot.
I had hot wings from that exact restaurant.
Oh.
But I had mild.
I used to eat hot stuff all the time, like Larry, Larry with his hot sauce and stuff. Used to love hot stuff as long as it wasn't just hot, because a lot of the hot sauces they're just hot. They don't really have a good flavor. But I don't eat it at all anymore. Even when we get wings, they are mild, or not mild, but medium these days. So the best hot wings I had would have been a long time ago, and I want to say there was a place called The Vine in Arizona. It was a small chain of bars, and that's where my roommate that I talked about before, that's where he worked. And he would make us a special batch of super, super hot wings. That's when they were 10 cents a wing, too. 10 cents a wing was a common price for him. And he made these incredibly hot wings that just, I smelled one and I started crying. It was just, it was so bad. It was like something used to wake somebody up, like what's the salts? What are they called?
Smelling salts?
Yes, it was like smelling salts. You rub it under your nose and just like, your eyes instantly water. Those things were so hot. So that's probably the most. Hey, there's another one there. Alfredo Fernandez. In Mexico, we eat many things: crickets, armadillo, ant eggs, Meiji worms, many exotic things. I've eaten crickets before, dried crickets. They weren't bad, really. They weren't at all. And I really think that insects are going to be our future as far as protein. Especially if the world keeps going the way it is with population growth, there's not going to be room for these massive farms. And, pound per pound, insects have a lot more protein than cattle do.
Well, and there's already a company that's working on that, that's creating foods that are solely based upon insect product. So,
yep. Hopefully I'll be dead before that happens.
Affirmative.
I have no problem with it. I'm interested in it. I'm trying to be a little more, not vegetarian, definitely. I still, I like chicken, I like meat and stuff, but I'm just trying to add a lot more vegetables into my diet. So even sometimes I get frozen burgers made out of mushrooms and stuff.
Well, I love soybean food.
Yeah.
I mean, a soybean burger is awesome.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah, I don't want to have a mealworm burger.
I'd try it. I would try it.
I had hamburgers up in Canada, and I was told that they can use mealworm in theirs, and I was like, I'm just going to pretend like I didn't know that. and it might have been a complete urban legend lie too.
Sure. Make fun of the American. Maybe make fun of the American, eh?
Yeah. It's like nothing stops me from eating food.
I think we have a Canadian in here. Where was it?
We do, Freshwater Canucks. And he actually had a question that I didn't want to answer in the chat because I always feel bad giving the answer to this. But Ed loves to answer this question. Asked the three of us what streams are on this weekend. Got the weekend to myself and wondering where to lurk during water changes. If you're new to the Fish Fam and you're trying to find out where to go and watch some live streams, Ed, where do you send people?
I send them to Saturday Night Fever with James, the Fish Room Fever guy.
That works too. I was going to say, check out fishroomfever.com. It's got all the stream times on there. It may not be 100% updated, but it's going to give you a good place to start. You can find the group and tag along from there.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go.
I thought you were setting me up for a commercial.
Oh, well, yes and no. No, and yes.
Yeah.
It's technically a commercial because it's my site, but it's not because it's there to help the community and people that are new to the Fish Fam.
Yeah.
And I totally use it every day.
That Saturday night stream though is a lot of fun. Freshwater Canucks. That definitely is a fun stream to go on.
If you go, like I just typed in Fish Room Fever on Google, and there's Monday, and you can just go on up and you can see everybody who's on. I don't know. There's Friday.
When was the last time it was updated, James?
You
were having it updated.
I think it's been a couple months ago. I've got one of the Fish Fam people volunteered to help with that. Like they made it where the hyperlinks were on there, and I still can't get that to work when I try and update it. So like when you're looking at that, if you go, oh, it's 6 o'clock, this person's on, you can click on that name and it takes you straight to their channel. So you don't have to go back, remember the name, type it in, search it on YouTube. But I need to get that person an updated list, which is fun in and of itself because I have so many contact locations. So it's like one person might send me a Facebook message and go, hey, can you add my stream time on Thursdays at whatever mountain time? And then another person sends me an email that goes to my junk folder that's like, would you add me on this day at so-and-so Central Time? And trying to compile all that, get it converted over to Eastern Time because that's what we have on there is Eastern and then quote-unquote military time. So it needs to be updated, but it's one of those, you can follow that and you find the Fish Fam group. And then, of course you get in the chats and we post the link here. We're going here next. Everybody, everybody bar hop on over to this one.
Yeah. That's always fun too. I like that a lot, especially Thursday night, I think is the best night for streams.
Thank you.
It is, and it's because of you guys are a big part of it. But you got all the fun streams on Thursday night. I think that's the best night for streams. Not saying that there's there's not other good nights. Monday night's very busy. It's very hard to find a time slot that if you're new like myself, I'm actually stepping on Alex from Secret History, living in your museum, in your aquarium. I'm actually stepping on his toes a little bit when I went at 6:30 because I didn't know that he was going on Tuesday nights at 7. So I cut into his time a little bit. And I felt bad, but I moved around in all these different places and I could not find a time that worked. It's so hard now because there's so many people.
It has developed a lot. Let me preface this with I by no means claim to be the pioneer of it. But from the time I started as little, I've got 30 subscribers and I'm going to stream by God and eventually people might find me, to now the amount of channels that have started streaming has been amazing. It's been totally awesome. And I've enjoyed watching that and being a part of some of it with people going, Well, this idiot's over here with 140 subscribers, and he's got the head of Segrist in here in his chat, and then John from KG Tropicals. I think he came on mine when we were like 200 subscribers, and it kind of opened some eyes up, and people were like, "Well, if this idiot can do it, I can do it," and it's been wonderful. But it definitely has kind of made it hard to find a place. Versus when I started, it was like everything's kind of open except for the big channels and a couple people that have been going for a long, long time.
Yeah,
And
it's definitely tough.
If anybody isn't subbed to Rico, he is an awesome guy. He's just starting out, maybe like 2 months ago, a month ago.
Well, when it comes to streaming live, yes, I actually started posting my first videos way back the last week of October. I posted one video.
Awesome.
So, although I've had a YouTube account for more than 10 years, but I barely posted anything those first 10 years. And then I posted my first fish video the last week of October, thanks to Vinny's Aquatics. Vinny subscribed to me before I really even had any content. And I said, "Hey man, I don't have anything. I don't have any plans. I'm just hanging out in these streams." And then it made me think, well, maybe I will just go ahead and make a couple fish videos. And then I don't know. Then it took off from there, and I'm loving it. I absolutely love it. John McKenzie said I'm a jerk, and he's right. That's my new thing. Is I started, instead of the fish fam, I call them the fish jerks. So everybody that, the people that I consider my subscribers, they're all fish jerks. It's just a blast. It is so much fun. The community is just so open and welcoming. So Ed and I, we have different politics, Ed and I, right? You'd agree, right, Ed?
Yep.
We're pretty much on the opposite sides, maybe. I'm sure we agree about a lot of stuff, but we also disagree about a lot. So we don't talk about politics. I consider Ed and James to be good friends.
Absolutely.
I don't really have very many friends out in the real world that are polar opposites when it comes to politics. So that's part of what makes this whole community so good. Is it doesn't matter what your belief system is, or who you are, or what you do, as long as you're a decent person who wants to help other people and wants to talk about fish, you're welcome.
Absolutely. And I think it's amazing that we use that commonality to come together, and we put the other things aside. Because like you said, typically in the real world, we tend to, your vibe leads you to your tribe, as they say. So we find people that are like us, that have our similar viewpoints, be it political or religious or a combination of those things. And we look past that in the fish fam or the fish jerks, and we go, "Hey, I don't care what you think about, the politics or religion or whatever, that stuff."
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm dismissing what you think. It's that you're my friend because we both like fish and we want to talk about fish. And it's okay that we don't talk politics. We don't need to do that. We're here because we love this other thing together.
Yeah, and it's crazy that people would even use politics as a friend thing when you consider we have no control, or so little, but we all really have the same opinions. It's just a little different.
Right.
They are a lot closer. That's just it. They are a lot closer than most of us are led to believe by a lot of our different media companies, like to tell us that the extremes are wider than they are. And if we talk face to face about a lot of this stuff, we'd find out we could explain better. Because when you make a post on Facebook, you're typing some words and somebody's reading into those, and you don't really get to explain yourself 100%. But if you're face to face with somebody, you get to explain yourself and your point of view a little better. Now, it doesn't always work. There are people that are very, very at the extremes, but I think a vast majority of us are a lot closer together than we think.
Absolutely.
James H. just said, "Is that a Norfolk Island pine behind you?" Yep. There's two of them, actually. There's a little guy right here, and then this one's a 6-foot one right here, way back behind you.
Nice. Wow, James H.
Hi, Amy. No, we cannot see your comments. Just kidding. Amy asked if she said she wanted if we could see her comments. They've not been going a ton into the chat. They've been looking at the chat, and I've been looking.
I apologize, Amy. Let's see.
We get together and we like to talk. So the three of us, and a lot of you may not know this, I mentioned it briefly. I set up a members only live stream, and it didn't really get put out there by YouTube. So Rico Stan was the only one to show up. So it was Ed and I, and then Rico Stan showed up at the chat. We're like, come on up, Rico, because it was supposed to be for my channel members to come up on panel and kind of talk in a more comfortable environment. Ed, Rico, and myself literally sat there in that stream with nobody else in the chat for an hour just talking to each other. So it's easy for the three of us to kind of get onto stuff and just go with it.
Yeah.
Amy said that her favorite days to watch are Wednesdays and Sundays are her favorite nights for streaming. I appreciate that, except those are the only 2 nights I don't stream.
And that's something, because Ed's like, Ed's every night. That's buddy.
Oh, we're going back to not seeing Amy's comments. No, I'm just kidding, Amy.
Bye, Amy.
Goes out now.
and that's a good point, though. What you said earlier, I apologize. People in the chat, because I always hate that when I go to a stream and they're not paying any attention to the chat at all. It always sort of bothers me, because most of the time the people doing the streams are doing it because of the people in the chat. So I do apologize myself for missing any comments that were directed towards me in the chat. But like James said, it's just so much fun to hang out with your friends, and sometimes we see all you guys there, but you're not here. We see the three of us, and it makes it hard sometimes. That's all.
Absolutely. And Amy, we're just giving you a hard time. Amy did come back and say, but Ed, I always watch you and James's streams. We know, and we appreciate it. You're a friend, so we give you a hard time. That's what we do.
Yeah. Well, and she's now a big timer.
She is.
Rico, did you hear? Oh, he's talking to somebody. We'll bring it up in a minute. But no, Sunday nights are great. You have or Sundays in general. There's just a whole mess of great people on Sunday.
All day long.
It's really hard to pick a day that isn't. I hate that I miss a lot of Saturday people on Sunday because I love watching football. So during the football season, I miss almost everybody on Sunday. I try to get Danikin in at the very end if it's a bad Sunday night football game, but otherwise I pretty much miss everybody. And then on Sundays, I like watching the Mod Guppy in the middle of the day, but normally Saturday's the day I'm running around. So I just listen to him on the radio. I can plug the YouTube in my radio in my car, and I listen to it like a radio show. So I listen to him there, and I listen to Father Fish that way. And it's so funny because my mom, I think the only person she watches ever or listens to that she acknowledges is Father Fish. I don't think everybody else is just blah, 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 but she gets a kick out of him. So
is it something to do with his voice or something, or maybe because he's older, or?
Yeah, maybe she relates better to what he's saying. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he makes her laugh, so that's what's important.
I'm going to just take a minute and just sort of scan through, and look at some of the comments. I'm back to 541 with I hate stupid people. So I'm just going to sort of look there. James H. I did answer. Yep. Amy, Sand Creek, that's what you said. We can't see the comments. Yep, we definitely see them.
Well, let's see what Amy's saying. James and Ed and James. Maybe I should just put my glasses. Oh my gosh, these glasses are terrible. Crazy thing that happened to me is directly related to knowing you guys. And you're not. Ooh, I wonder what it was.
I know.
No, Amy,
I know something that happened. Yeah. I'm wondering if that's what she was talking about. I heard that the other night, Rob 93, when I was on his show, and that just reminds me. This is my third stream of the week.
Nice.
That's amazing. I'm like Ed Light.
Well, it's my fourth, I guess.
He mentioned what had happened, or something like 350,000 views
has
on a video and like 1,200 or 1,500 subscribers. And
yeah, well, when I looked last night before the stream, because I wanted to give her a shout out too, she was at 380,000 of her cute little puppy.
it's amazing.
So
I got to pet that puppy. It was so cute.
the shorts is definitely a thing. If anybody's kind of looking to try and get YouTube's attention, the shorts platform within YouTube is definitely a big way to do it. And basically that's where like Instagram did the same thing. TikTok kind of became a thing. Love it or hate it, TikTok became a thing and people were going viral left and right. So Instagram came up with Reels. I think that's what they call it. They came up with their own little short platform thing. And YouTube said, this is really popular. We want that on our platform. So they have shorts. And that's where they have, really, really short clips, 20, 30 seconds, a little bit more than that. And they're really pushing those things to try and pull some of the TikTok over to there. Let's get all these people on our platform. We can reel them into here and say, okay, we got you watching the short stuff. Now we can get you on the longer videos because we want to replace basic television. We want you on here for hours.
Yeah.
And it was really smart to jump on that. And I'm glad that she got that because that's awesome. That's definitely one of those things. If you're looking for something to try and help your channel out, shorts is a great thing to do right now. And you've got a much higher probability of being able to get some attention that way versus the continued standard video format.
You know what I don't understand though is that you only see the featured shorts in the mobile app. You don't see them when you look, when you're on the computer. I spend most of my time on the computer. I had no idea.
Oh, see, yeah, I didn't either.
I mean, I see shorts in there, but I only see them because people that I'm subscribed to.
Right.
But they're not featured the way they. And I think it can be a minute and under, right? It can be like 59 seconds.
Yeah.
Under.
And a lot of times.
I just went real quick. Greg the Guppy guy says, "Can we get a kink?" He meant, "Can we get a link for the video?" But he said, "Can we get a kink?"
The kinkiest thing around here is the garden hose for water changes.
I got plenty of my own already, so
I'll try to do it. I think I can do that. Okay. See, it'll only take me a second.
I think so. To do them, it has to be 59 seconds. I think it could be 60 seconds. The shorter is the better, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like 15 to 30 seconds, I think, is supposed to be better. Right. But to be a short, you have to use the hashtag shorts, and it has to be under a minute long.
Correct. And I feel like the vertical versus horizontal formatting plays into it. It may not, but I know when it was initially being talked about, it was like you want to film it.
Yes, you're right.
Versus horizontally.
Yep. Which is weird.
Yeah.
They prefer
you mentioned not seeing it on the computer. Well, that's a back in your day type of thing. A lot of it's not focused toward the computer anymore because most of what's going on is on the mobile devices.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's why they don't. I was not just watching YouTube, but I had my own channel and was putting out content for probably several months before I ever even looked at my own stuff on a laptop. And as soon as I did, I was like, oh my God, this is lacking because there's so many things that show differently. And I came back and, people have always asked my advice for better or worse, and so I started like, look, one of the first things you need to do is if you've never looked at your page on a television, a computer screen, and a phone, go look at it on all three of those, see what it looks like, and then adjust, the appearance.
Yep. I almost always use the computer. First of all, my hands are messed up from my autoimmune disease. So sometimes typing on the phone can be painful and it's hard to do. So, I mean, I got a nice phone and I use it I use it almost entirely for taking videos. I hardly do. You know what else I do on it? I text Ed, a couple times a week. That's about it. I mean, I don't use it for anything else. I haven't made a phone call in probably at least a year. That I don't use it for anything else. But I use my computer for all that stuff because it's just so much easier. What were you gonna say, Ed?
Oh, I was trying to get Nico to come over here.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
What's up? That I wasn't sure.
I went like this. He just got done eating his, licking his chomps.
All right. Was there any other comments that we? Let's see. Yeah. So people are just talking about what exactly the shorts are. So Bob Kaler was the one encouraged me to do the shorts. And if you remove the word shorts there and put pretty much anything else there, that would still be. Bob Kaler encouraged me. You can leave it at that, and it's probably true because that's how that guy is. You know, Bob Kaler is very supportive and incredibly super nice guy. He's definitely up there amongst the people I would love to meet someday.
Bob's the one that introduced me to Ed.
Yeah. Ed was telling me that story when I did the interview with him. He talked about how you guys met at the fish store, and you stood around and talked for 4 hours, and he was almost lame the other day because he stood for so long and his leg hurt him so bad.
Yeah. Well, you're just going to have to take your wife down on a vacation to the South, and you can meet everybody, Rico, because that'd be awesome.
We don't go anywhere.
I understand.
We don't travel. It's hard on me though. It really is. It's even an hour-long trip can be debilitating. Which I'm sure you're right with me. You understand. But we don't do a lot of trips.
With an autoimmune system, I don't know. Does that mess up really bad if there's a lot of pollen and stuff too?
No, not really. It just means that your immune system is out of whack. So sometimes it's running really heavy. And it's protecting you really well, and sometimes it's running really low. A lot of times it's eating your body. So I have rheumatoid arthritis, and arthritis shouldn't even be on there because it's not like osteoarthritis that a lot of older people get. Rheumatoid actually affects your eyes, it affects your heart, it affects your lungs, all your joints, all your organs, and your body's it's eating itself. So like my knees are soft because the cartilage and stuff and all the fluids have been eaten by my body. So it's painful, and you just don't know what's going to trigger a flare up. Like a lot of days I'm fine. Today I feel pretty good. I'm not going to go run a marathon, but I feel pretty good. But then there's other days I don't get out of bed. That's a downer. I didn't want to bring that up. I'm sorry. I didn't even. Sometimes talking about it is therapeutic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and we get to learn.
Well, hopefully, again, because so many people they say things. I've had it for 15 years, and people will say, well, you don't look sick, and, or things like that, or you're too young for arthritis. And it's not arthritis. It's not. And they actually want to change the name of it because it actually even causes problems when, like with disability and certain judges who don't know what it is. They see arthritis in the name and they think it's osteoarthritis, but it really has nothing to do with it. All right, sorry. Anyways, what's the next topic? What time are we quitting? We done.
I think 6
what?
o'clock is the standard time.
Okay. Yeah, we have 4 minutes. So is Carrie going live? Does anybody know?
I do not.
Let's see if I got any notifications.
I am going to repost the link.
She's a super cool chick. And let's see. I didn't get a notification. Oh, Aquarium Cop shared a video in the last hour. He's a super cool guy. You guys got to check out that.
Yep. He's been around for a while, right? He always leaves supportive messages on my stuff, so I always appreciate that.
Aquarium Cop was one of the very first people I ever had pop up on my channel back in the day. Back in my day.
Back when I was a boy.
Well, he's moving close to James and I. He's going to be hopefully moving to Kentucky.
Let me say something real quick, if you don't mind. Maybe somebody could put this in the chat too. But so, on Tuesday nights, I'm doing my interview streams, and at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. I've already had a bunch of awesome people. I got a bunch of awesome people lined up. but I really would like to interview pretty much everybody that's in the fish fam at some point. So if you're interested, and you don't even have to have a channel for me to interview you. If you go into these live streams and you interact with the fish fam, the fish jerks, then I'd love to interview you. So if just send me an email, rico@ricostand.com, and maybe if there's a mod or somebody can put that in the send me an email and let me know that you'd like to sign up, and I'd love to put you on the list. I'm really, really having a lot of fun with it.
It's a wonderful show. It's a lot like this show. We get away from the standard talk. Oh, you know what? I'm posting your page, not your. Oh, okay, cool. Chevy, you're amazing.
Excuse
Chevy
me.
got it.
But if you click my link, you can go directly to Rico Stand's page or not. I just did it and it didn't work. Do my links work for myself?
I see your link. I see a watch one.
You know what?
The email.
I don't think I made a copy. When I pasted, I didn't copy, and I think I pasted Amy's.
Oh, yeah, that looks like a specific video link. That's okay though.
Sorry.
That's okay. They put it in earlier, so no big deal. The email was the important thing there. And again, anybody. There's nobody that's, and I'm hoping. Everybody wants their channel to grow, right? And at first I said, I don't care about that. But now I do want to sort of grow my channel. But the only reason I want to grow my channel is so that I can give the people that I interview more views. I can help somebody else grow their channel and maybe, get out there and hit their own goals. That's the only reason I'm really doing that.
Well, your channel's just a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. And James and I both appreciate you for being such a cool dude.
Well, thank you.
And thank you for coming on and helping out Lefty today.
Yes.
And Lefty's a great guy too. Someday we'll have to get Lefty on here also.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe he wears the dress, maybe he doesn't.
Well, I think that's what do they call those at professional wrestling? A onesie, not a onesie, but a singlet, or a wrestling like outfit that fits over. I really think it's Andre the Giant's outfit he's wearing.
I gotcha.
It does. I remember Andre wearing that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, look, you can see Nico's little head.
Oh.
I've been badly trying to get the chat back up because I lost chat when I was trying to do Rico's thing. And
unitard.
I got my chat back.
I hate stupid people said unitard.
Unitard. You got to be careful how you say that because he kind of looks just like a tard in that.
It is a great picture, Lefty. If you're still here.
Yeah, Lefty's so much fun. I really appreciate him too. If you guys aren't subbed to Lefty, go sub to him. He's an amazing.
Yeah. He's normally on this slot, as everybody I'm sure knows, but that show that Ed and Lefty do every Friday is just it's a lot of fun. Usually it's a little more focused on games and stuff, but there's all kinds of talk. I mean, there's movies. It's just like this one. Everything. I always enjoy watching it.
Yep, I think it'll be good to see Lefty upset that we talked about Pokemon without him. That's my fingers are crossed on that.
That's definitely his thing.
It was like, nobody picked Pikachu. But thank you, everybody. Thank you, mods. You guys are amazing. And if we missed your name, I apologize. I will rewatch the show probably in a couple hours and read what everybody said, and then I'll just think about it. No way for me to respond at that point. But I always do that. I love to see what the people said afterwards.
Yeah, it's hard to hit all of them.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you, James, for being a great producer also.
Yeah.
Glad to do it. Love you guys.